everybody. I just want to say hi and say what's up. And there is a full moon tonight. So I completely forgot about this super full moon coming. I was so concentrating on all this other stuff that I forgot about the full moon. So before I get there, can you guys hear me all right? I want to make sure you guys are able to hear me okay. So if you can, go ahead and I'm still learning. You guys can hear me okay. Fabulous. So, yay! Okay, so like I said, I forgot to completely mention that tonight there is a full moon. So if you guys have crystals, don't forget to put them out to charge. Now you can put them out tonight, you can put them out tomorrow night, you can put them out any really time. So it doesn't really matter, but try to put your crystals out tonight to charge because it's kind of important. This will really kind of pack a punch. So you want to make sure to do that. Number two, not only is there a super full moon, but Cryon has started to go kind of direct or leave one of these planets. I think it was Pluto, if I remember it. I don't remember. And so that means it's just kind of like our old school behaviors are going to start kind of going out by the wayside. So, which needs to happen. But we're finally kind of feeling like we're getting over the hump, you know? I know the last 2 weeks have been kind of a little different on our bodies, especially sore muscles, headaches, our gut's not acting right. Like our stomach problems have been major right now. So the biggest thing with that is just, really make sure to eat good food right now. So if, everything's going to kind of go through you or stick, so watch your guts. And it just, a lot of people have been having these issues, and I will tell you, we are on a major purge. So it's kind of like if you've been wanting to eat good, you're going to get forced to eat good now. So if you're not paying attention to your body, you're going to be forced to pay attention to your body. So be sure that you're eating good food. Be sure that you're drinking lots of water. Alcohol is not going to vibe. So you might normally not have any really adverse reactions to alcohol, but you go out and have a few drinks, and then next thing you know is you're like having this massive hangover the next day, and all you had was maybe 2 drinks. So just understand that you're going to be a lot more intolerant to lower vibrational foods and drinks. So just be real careful with that, okay, guys? And then the other thing also is that the Schumann resonance has been kind of spiking a little bit, plus there's a full moon. So, this is one of those times I'm going to tell you, pay attention to people who might have bipolarity issues, people that are not enlightened. Because I'm going to tell you that if somebody's going to commit suicide, it's going to be now. And I want all of us to kind of watch out for each other, So if you have somebody that have mental health issues, just kind of keep an eye on them, check in on them, see if they're okay. So because they could take a downhill turn very, very quickly in this type of energy, because it's almost, it's like I said, it's forcing everybody to pay attention to themselves and start taking care of themselves. And people that don't know how to do that or deal with heavy emotional trauma or issues, it's going to be a tough one for them over the next 2 weeks. So just kind of keep an eye out for everybody. And I always tell people that too, just, we're all in this together. So just kind of, watch each other, but your emotions are going to run high this week, starting like this weekend. And I'll tell you, we had a huge spike in the Schumann resonance here. It was a couple days ago. So you'll probably see that Monday was pretty emotional. And with the super full moon, it's just even amplifying that energy. So we're going to be kind of out of the woodwork here a little bit later, but for right now, just kind of duck and weave. Okay. But it's kind of one of those where I always tell people, just stay home. Try not to go out, try not to talk to a bunch of people because you're going to miscommunicate, or you're just not going to feel like going out and being around people. Also, now's the time to clean up the house. So if you've been wanting to move, remodel, redecorate, purge, get rid of stuff, it's time. It's time. So because your home is your sanctuary, and if your home is not clean, your mind won't be either. So you can't expect to meditate. You can't expect to level up spiritually if your house is a shithole. So it's just not going to happen. So So that's the biggest thing, is just making sure that you're really cleaning up your mind, body, soul connection, but especially within your house, because that's going to be a big one. So how this goes, if you guys have never come to a Q&A of mine, this is pretty simple. You just start asking me questions. I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I possibly can within this hour time. I won't be doing personal readings, because I've done readings all day today. So this is more for helping people out, spiritually speaking, with, why are my ears ringing? Why does this happen? Type of stuff. So like I said, this is one of those where ask away, ask whatever you want. And like I said, I'm going to try to answer as many questions as I can within a short amount of time. So, and by the way, I do these monthly. So I always tell people, if you forgot to ask a question or you want to ask another question, just write it down for next month. Your best bet is to making sure that you subscribe to my YouTube channel. So that way you get a bit of a notification. So the next time I'm going to be doing a live Q&A. And also, if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, I highly suggest you do, because people that are on my newsletter kind of get first dibs. So a lot of times workshops will sell out very quickly, and then my people on Facebook are like, hey, I didn't even know about it. And I'm like, yeah, my newsletter people get first dibs. So if you haven't signed up for my newsletter at psychickelly with an i.com, I highly suggest you do that. Okay. I see butterflies, cardinals, feathers. How do I know which loved one? Jody, that one's pretty, it's a little bit more complicated, but I'm going to tell you that if it reminds you of somebody right away, immediately, you're like, oh my gosh, it reminds me of something my dad would do, or, oh my gosh, my mom loved cardinals. That's going to be the sign. So it's kind of whoever you associate that with in that first initial, like whatever pops in your head right off the bat. So that's going to be your intuition, and your intuition is always way faster than your logic. So because your intuition happens and you're going to be like, did I just have a conversation with myself? Did I just see that? Did that just happen? If you question it, I can tell you that it's spirit-led every single time, because its intuition is way faster than what your logic can comprehend. So that's an easy way to decipher if it's your intuition versus your logic or your ego. All right. Are vaccines poison? No, they're not necessarily. And I'll tell you, and this is just my opinion. Now you got to remember, everybody has their own truth. Okay. So if you don't agree with my truth, that's okay. That's all right. So I think that vaccines, we need them. Okay. Nobody wants polio. Nobody wants this shit to come back. However, I think that when you give a small child 16 shots in a row, that's a lot. And I mean, we're not talking, they're probably 4 shots, but there's 16 vaccines in, those 4 shots. I think that's really overwhelming for the body. I wish we could space that out a little bit more. So I don't think the vaccines themselves are poison. I think it's an absolute overload that we do to small children. I think it needs to be administered a little bit slower on the body, not so much at once, so the body just shuts down and kind of goes weird a little bit. So like I said, that's just my personal opinion. I think that we need vaccines, absolutely. The only one I'm a little on that personally I don't do would be the flu shot. So because it just seems like they never get it right anyway, and I don't need other crap in my body that doesn't need to be there. So, and besides, if you're not stressed out and you're happy and you're positive and you're pretty well balanced out, you won't get sick anyway. When you're stressed out, constantly worried, you open yourself up to infection. So again, that's just my personal opinion. Not everybody has to agree, but that's just, question was asked, so that's my personal opinion. Husband has terminal illness. How do I keep above water? Leah, that's a really tough one. And I would tell you, listen to a motivational video in the morning. Listen to something really funny, a good belly laugh. And one of those laughters where you like almost have tears coming out of your eyes, a good belly laugh will give you positive vibes for 24 hours. So I'm going to tell you, do anything that keeps you jam out to some music that you like. The little tiny things throughout the day to make you happy, that's what's going to help. So, and when you bring that positive energy into somebody who's ill, it just makes them feel better. So like I said, you can't control the situation, but you can control you. And that's like little baby steps. But like I said, maybe listen to some Chris Farley or, listen to something kind of funny. And then maybe even listen to something motivational as well. So that's going to help. Little things like that really do help. Do I still think that there might be some sort of natural disaster coming? You know, I do, but I just don't know where, when. I don't know what I keep seeing. This is where it becomes really difficult as a medium and a psychic too. I know something's coming. I don't know where and I don't know when. And it's just, it's angering me. But at the same time, here's the deal. You can't have 2 super full moons and a bunch of eclipses and not expect Mother Nature to be chill. So she's gonna shake here. She's gonna do something. Maybe it's a volcano. Maybe it's a little bit of rumbling. I don't think it's anything to be hopefully not in a populated area, but like she's due. Let's be real. So that's why I'm like going. I don't know where and when, but the last time I felt this way, the tsunami hit Japan. So I don't like to put that out there because I don't like to put fear out there. I hate that. I don't like doing that. But at the same time, it's kind of like it's a yes, I know something's coming, but I don't know where and I don't know when. So, what good does that do me or anybody else if I can't tell you, hey guys, there's going to be an earthquake in, Oregon? I don't know. So, all right. How do you know if you're really seeing things or you're going crazy? Remember how I just started and I said, if you question it, then I'm going to tell you that you did see that spiritually speaking, because and it usually is on the corner of your eyes. So when your clairvoyance pops on, it's almost always on the corner of your eyes. So, because you're going to see it and then you're going to try to turn your head and look at it and there won't be anything there. And so what I tell people is stare at the ground and ask spirit to come. But most of the time people won't do that because it freaks them out. But that's how clairvoyance works. Is when it first starts, you're like, did I just see that? I'm like, yeah, you did. Yeah, you did. All right. What's my opinion on periodic fasting? I think it's excellent. I think it's an excellent idea. And I will tell you that in a weird way, I do that before I go on stage, before my live audience reading. So when I'm getting up on stage and there's 300 people in a crowd, I make sure that my mind, body, soul is good, but I really eat very light foods, maybe a salad, lots of broth, things like that, before I get up on stage. And it really does help. It really, really helps when it comes to my connection and my delivering. So don't get me wrong. When I get done, I eat a cheeseburger because that's what I want. But before, to prepare myself, I do kind of do that periodic fasting, and it's great. I think it's excellent. I think it gives the body, especially the immune system, a good restart. So I think it's a great idea. I do. Is there a way to interpret spirit a little, oh, these things are coming in so fast, a little less dramatic than feeling like you're Alison Dubois? You know what? Yes, you can. And that's a really good question, Rachel. What I would tell you is when it happens, say, okay, guys, I got it. Get it off me. So when I first started doing mediumship, it was really overwhelming if you're, talking to a client and their husband died of a heart attack and you feel like your chest is going to explode. I've had to learn after a while, I get a quick feeling and then I'm like, okay, it's off. So you control spirit. Spirit never controls you. You need to set those parameters and say, okay, I'll have it happen quickly, and then I want it off. So like I said, you control those parameters. So, but be vocal about that. Make sure you're telling your spirit guides and your team back behind you, this is what I want, this is what I don't want. So that way it's not overwhelming, because it sometimes it hurts. So sometimes my knee will start hurting really bad. I'm like, oh, my right knee hurts. And she's like, I just hurt mine yesterday. I'm like, oh. So like I said, sometimes it gets a bit overwhelming. My brother came addicted to drugs after my father passed. My mother is driving herself crazy trying to help him. Will it ever get better? You know what? It depends on the son. If he's willing to stop, if your mother is willing to stop enabling him and the son is willing to stop being a victim, then yes, I think it can work. But both of them have to realize they have a problem. And it sounds to me like they're very codependent. And if that's the case, then no, they're not going to get better. So, but either one, I don't think understands have a problem. So that one's a tough one. And I'll pray for them. I really want them to get better. But like I said, that's a lot of stuff thing to work on. I see repeating all over and I'm lost where I need to start learning on how to use my ability. Where should I start? Well, I teach a lot of workshops. So I'm going to tell you what, you don't have to go to me. I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, you got to go to me for workshops. You don't. Go anywhere. There's plenty of stuff on YouTube. There's plenty of people in your community. So just learn. Just start and learn. Follow your curiosity. Your curiosity is going to lead you to your purpose, okay? So just follow that curiosity for right now. Sit at the buffet table. If it resonates with you, gives you the willies, feels really good, that's your truth. If it doesn't resonate with you, piss on it. Somebody else's truth. Your job is trying to decipher, is this my truth or not? That's it. So if you go on my blog at psychickelly.com, I do have the number meanings. So usually when we first start to go through a spiritual awakening, you're going to see the 1111s, and then you're going to see the 3 o'clock, 3:33, stuff like that. So just understand the most spiritual numbers, well, spiritually speaking, the highest vibrational numbers are 1, 3, 6, 9. So you're going to see 111, 311, 611, 911, and then you're going to see 333 and then 777. You're going to see all those numbers. I'm going to tell you, if you see a lot of them in one day, that means to tell me that you are tapped in to source energy. And that is your time to ask God for what it is that you want. Personally, by the way, I believe in God. If you believe in something else, put your own noun or verb in there. So, but at the same time, I'm like, if I'm seeing all replicate numbers, I'm like, oh, Lord, what do I need help with? So what do I want? What do I want to manifest? Because if you're asking for what it is what you want, guidance wise, when you see those replicating numbers, you're going to be able to manifest it quickly. So that's good stuff all the time. Let's see, recently starting exploring more about crystals, pretty much anything. I'm having a hard time keeping it in my brain. Ooh, okay, see, Gina, that's normal. And what happens is when your brain gets literally overwhelmed with information, it shuts down. So, and when it shuts down, you get tired. So the biggest thing is when you're trying to learn something new, bits and pieces. So, and I'm going to tell you the best way to do it is before you go to bed at night. So you it marinades in the subconscious. So that's, if you ever want to remember something, the best thing to do is right before bed, because it's like you're kind of meditating on it in a weird way. So, but baby steps with learning all this stuff. It's like I said, you guys have to remember, I've been doing this I've been on my awakening journey for 13, 14 years. So that's when it took me a long time. So be patient. You're not going to know it all at once. But like I said, at this point, absolutely follow that curiosity. So if it feels neat, just go check that stuff out. So can you use tarot too much? No, you can't. Not when you first start. But I'm going to tell you, it is a tool, just like a pendulum or anything else. It's a tool. At this point, I don't really care. I don't get readings myself. I don't use my tarot cards because you know what? I can handle whatever life throws at me. I got it. So some days are going to be good. Some days are going to be bad. But no matter what, I've got this. So that's why I'm like, I don't need to know what's coming down the road because I can handle it. So that's why I always tell people, you can't overdo it. You really can't. But when you're first learning, just use it to your advantage. Absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. But don't feel like you need it. Don't make it a crutch. Don't feel like, oh, I have to do it every day, especially later down the road. But you usually grow out of that, spiritually speaking. So not a big deal. How do I communicate with loved ones that have passed? That one's a little trickier. But best thing to do is, and believe it or not, I'm going to tell everybody this, and this is a great little tip. The best time to meditate, the best time to talk to your spirit guides or your loved ones, believe it or not, 3 in the morning. So when you get woke up at 3 in the morning, that is the absolute best time to talk to your loved ones and possibly get a response. Now remember, sometimes you can't say, okay, Dad, if you're here, turn on and off the lights. That's hard. Just say, hey, Dad, I need a sign I'm having a bad day. And just wait. Just wait and see what happens. You're going to start to see some weird stuff happening, or you're going to see like a doppelganger, or you're going to see this, bird that's acting really strange. So that's how you're going to know it's a sign from him. But to actually talk to them is difficult. It is. And so I'm gone for over 20 years, right? And so I don't get to talk to my dad, even though I'm a medium. I don't get to talk to my dad like I could talk to yours. So, and just understand that that's not to my advantage. So, because I know that he's okay, I don't need to talk to him. Don't get me wrong, I have a bad day once in a while. I'm like, hey, I kind of need a sign, and I'll get one. And I'll get one because I can pay attention. And then when I see that sign, I'm like, hey, thanks, Pops, I got it. So, and then I'm good to go. So the biggest thing is don't expect how you think that they need to respond. It's not easy like that. So a lot of people come in and they get upset that they can't dream about their loved one. And I'm like, well, it's because they're there, but you're not sleeping well enough to get into REM sleep to be able to talk to them. If you see my cat, by the way, that's my cat. So some people freak out and they think it's a spirit. It's not. I have a black cat. So I got to tell you that. But that's the biggest thing, is that you're going to know that they're there at 3 a.m. Don't worry about, oh my God, am I talking to a demon? I'm going to tell you guys what, if it were bad energy, you would know it immediately. Immediately you would know it. You're like, something ain't right. There's a disturbance in the force. And if you regularly sage, that's not going to be a problem, guys. So don't worry about this. I get this crap of, oh, 3 a.m. is really scary. I'm like, says who? So what, a movie on Netflix? So no, that's not how it is. So I'll tell you, some of the best conversations I've had with my spirit guides have been 3 a.m. Even better is that if I have a problem, I will say my problem. I'm like, okay, God, angel, spirit guides, whoever else knows me, need a little help. I got a question. I'm going to ask that question. There's my cat. I'm going to ask that question, and then I'll get woke up at 3 a.m. and I'm going to have that answer. So that's believe it or not, that's how Albert Einstein did it. He would ask questions before he went to bed, and then he'd go to sleep, wake up at 3 a.m, and he would have his answer and he would write it down. So that really is the best time to connect, because you're not thinking of anything. Therefore, you're in a meditative state, and that really is the best time. Okay. What are my thoughts on palm reading? Summer, great question. Love it. Love it. My best friend reads palms. Her name is Shannon Kinsey. So, and I'm going to tell you what, she's amazing at it, right? So is there something with palms? Yes. Is there something with numerology? Yes. Is there something with astrology? Yes. So all of those things I want you guys to like learn a little bit about, because there is truth in that. There really is. And so the biggest thing is that what she's told me is that your hands change like every 6 weeks. I didn't know that. So that's why, you know, a really good palmist is going to be telling you what you see, what they see, and what you can do to improve your life, what you can do to, hey, like, hey, this, you know, this square means this and this star means that. So a really good palmist is going to be able to do that. But if you're curious about it, go check it out. There's not very many people that read palms anymore. There's really not. It's kind of a dying art. So that's why, do it, because there's not a lot of people that do it, and it would set you apart from a lot of people. Okay, Is it possible to be looking too hard for signs of enlightenment? Kelly, even asking that question, I'm going to tell you that you're already enlightened. So, because you wouldn't be asking that question if you were unenlightened. So the biggest thing with you is I want get to the basics, learn how to meditate. So get to the basics, start there. Meditation is baseline foundation 101 for all psychic and intuitive abilities and spirit connection. So, and if you're with meditation, keep trying. So quit having expectations, thinking that you're going to sit there and think about nothing, because that's crap. That's not how it works. You're going to sit there and think about everything. So, but the fact that you can even sit there for 10 minutes and do nothing and no electronics, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So that's where you should start. So, let me see. You mentioned something before about vibrating during a spiritual awakening. What does that mean? I'm not sure what that means, Patsy. I'm not too sure. What is the easiest way to find out who your spirit guides are? Okay, Jamie, that's a great question. So there's a couple ways you can do it. Like I said, number one, before you go to sleep at night, ask for your spirit guides to come through in a dream state. Introduce themselves as, you're going to look at them and go, I know you, but I don't know you, but man, you feel familiar. Like we've met, haven't we? And man, you're just really familiar. So that's going to be one of your spirit guides. The other one is, you know that feeling when you first fall in love and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm totally in love with this person, right? So that feeling, or feeling like you met your soulmate in your dream, that's also going to be a spirit guide for you too. So the other way is learning how to meditate. Again, meditation is baseline foundation for that spirit communication. And then another way is just to ask them to prove it. So what's great about angels and what's great about spirit guides is that yes, they have free will. I mean, yes, they do. But if you ask them to prove it, they'll do it. So they understand human stupidity and doubt. All right. So what I did is that when I first started doing this, I was like, so I asked my spirit guides, I'm like, okay, if you guys are real, prove it. I want to see a purple feather. That's what I said. 3 days later, my daughter came to me, and at the time she was maybe 6 or 7. She's like, Mommy, look, I got this for you. It's a purple feather. I about fell off my chair. So, and that's why I'm going, all you have to do is ask them to give you a sign. They will. They will. So they will make sure that you know that they are real. So it's not like they're not going to do something that's going to scare the hell out of you either. They're very loving beings. It's not like they're going to just show up and be like, I'm here, and you're going to be like, 3 in the morning. It doesn't work that way. So don't worry about that. What do you do in meditation? Thinking, asking. You know what? In meditation, don't do a damn thing. Don't think about nothing. Don't ask for nothing. Don't have any expectations. Just sit there and try to clear your mind the best that you can. It's the after effects of meditation that's so important. And it's the after effects that you can then begin to ask those questions. So I always tell people, don't have expectations when you meditate. Just try to sit and chill. That's it. Just sit and chill. So, and I don't care to sit and chill in your car for 10 minutes just over your lunch break. Great, that counts. Nothing wrong with that. So you do not have to sit in full lotus position and do this Om stuff. That's mastership status, guys. That's not how we start. So, Patsy, I don't understand the question that you're asking, so rephrase it for me. Okay. How can I regulate my body to conceive? Started trying for baby, my body's all out of cycle. Okay, Kelsey. So believe it or not, and this is funny because I'm teaching a fertility workshop tomorrow. I'm going to tell you that my guess is your dad is a workaholic, and I don't know if recently you've been having any issues with him, or your husband or partner is also a workaholic. So it's going to be one of those two things, and most likely both of them are workaholics. So if you're trying to conceive and you're having trouble with that and your dad is a workaholic, I'm going to tell you, don't talk to your dad for a little while. So because he's going to try to give you advice, but you're not taking it as advice. You're taking it as criticism. And every time that happens, it closes up your sacral chakra. So most likely that's probably what's happening. So but give it a little bit of time. Like I said, once you get all excited about this, what happens is your body starts to react to it. So, but baby steps with that. It's okay. How many past lives does one usually have? Good question, Colt. A lot. So I'm going to tell you, could be hundreds. So best way to figure out what your past life is to do a past life regressional hypnotherapy session. And I'm going to tell you what, there's 2 things that I don't do in a reading. And one of them is I will not tell you about your past life. And the reason why is because I could make anything up and you would believe it. So the biggest thing is it's a self-discovery journey. I want you to figure it out yourself. So the easiest way to do it is, again, meditate, ask for it, or do a past life regressional hypnotherapy session. So, and the other thing is I won't tell you your spirit guides' names. I can tell you how many you have. I can tell you if they're guys or girls, but I'm not going to tell you their names. That's up to you to figure out. So again, I'm not going to give you all these answers. It's a self-discovery journey because I could make anything up with a spirit guide's name, and I could make anything up with a past life, and you guys would believe it. And I'm like, no, it's self-discovery. I want you to figure it out. Is it possible to receive a job offer if you manifested over the moon? You know, Dundee, I will tell you that if you're constantly getting blocked because of a job, that means to tell me that your spirit guides are telling you you're looking in the wrong direction. So a lot of times these are the people that are like, nope, I'm really good at these 4 jobs right here. And I'm like, yeah, but you've always wanted to do this over here. So why don't you do that? And they're like, yeah, but I'm only good at this. And I'm like, pick your head up and look at all options on the table. So most likely you're getting blocked because that's not where you're supposed to be. Or they're blocking you from working at in a place of employment where they're really negative bitches. So, let's see here. Meditation with music. Celtic music, go ahead. If you guys want to do a guided meditation, you want to listen to some woo-woo music, you want to listen to whatever you want to listen to, like I said, you do it. You want to silence, you want to listen to music. Some people walk and meditate. So everybody does it differently. You just kind of have to find what fits for you. So that's why meditation is not like a one deal, like where you have to do it this certain way. It's not. And don't ever let anybody tell you that you have to do it a certain way for it to work. It's bullshit. Find your own way to do it. So like I said, a lot of this is sitting at this buffet table. And the same goes with me. Some days I want to meditate in total silence. Other days I want a guided meditation. So every day for me is different. It doesn't mean that it's right or wrong. That's just what works for me. So why would a soul choose the life of an animal abuser, child abuser, or murderer? This is good question, Tina. Okay, so here's the deal with that one, is that it's not that they necessarily choose to be a child abuser. It's because they don't choose to come into this world. It's a conscious choice that they're doing. But what they don't understand is that karma will play a role in the next life. So for instance, if you come in and you abuse children in this life, then you're going to come back in the next life and be abused as a child. So if you, for instance, murder a bunch of women and then you come into this next life, you will be the woman that gets stalked and murdered. So that's what I mean by this, is that we choose it. Yes, we choose our free will, we choose our choices, but we also choose the consequences. So when we come into the next life, that karmic debt must be paid in full. So that's what they mean by karma. So if you're a greedy bitch here and you take everybody's money, you're going to be a hungry Ethiopian in the next life. You see what I mean? That's what I mean by you don't necessarily, everything in this world is positive or negative. You choose the right path, you choose the wrong path. Either way, they come with repercussions. So that's just basic law, karmic law. So that's why sometimes people don't understand why somebody would come into this world and choose to be a child that gets raped. And I'm like, well, maybe in a previous life, that's exactly what happened. So not that I'm trying to make it valid. I'm not. Either way, it's, a sick SOB who does it. But again, that karma has to be paid one way or another. So hopefully that answers that question. It's kind of a taboo question, but at the same time, I'm going to answer it the best I can. I saw my spirit bird 3 times today, meaning that means that, Diet, I would tell you, look up the meaning behind that. And most likely, especially 3 times, that means to tell me that you're on the right path. That's always a good sign. 3s, remember 1, 3, 6, 9, those are always good signs for me. That means that you're right on that right path. So that's awesome. I'm a hungry Ethiopian, so the next life will come in as a fat whale. That's funny. Okay. Automatic drawing writing. I once told they were backtracking as why I would want to learn about them. Are they beneficial? Rachel, they are. And I'll tell you in a weird way, I do that. If you guys follow me on Facebook, I do a daily reading every single day. And I'll tell you, it's kind of automatically written. I literally will sit there and be like, what am I going to write about today? And then boom, something hits me in the head. I write it down. Daily reading's done. So yes, there is benefit, especially spiritual growth and personal growth. So when it comes to automatic writing. So absolutely, yes, it's a good idea to give it a shot. And what I tell people is you can type faster than you can write. So get on like a blank sheet of paper, like a WordPress or Word document, right? And ask a question. And the first thing that you get in your head, you write down the answer. Ask another question, get a response, just type it in. Don't worry about trying to get everything mistake free. So just get it on paper and then go back and read it. And you're going to go, holy crap, that's good. So that's what I'm like, yep, it works really, really well. So try it. Like I said, try it out. How do you know your spirit bird or animal? You ask. Ask. So on average, everybody has one bird, one mammal, and one insect. So just be like, okay, spirit guides, I want to know what my spirit animal is, especially my mammal. So mine's a squirrel. So shocker. And then my bird is a blue heron. And then my insect is a praying mantis. So when I see the praying mantis, that means to tell me that I'm overworked and I need to take a break. Otherwise, I'm going to break. And if I see my blue heron, that's always that change is coming, but it's a very positive change, spiritually speaking. And then when I see my squirrel, it means for me to keep focused, keep grinding, keep going. So that's what it means for me. Everybody's different. So, and I'm going to tell you, a lot of times you can Google this stuff on what the meaning is. And again, if it resonates with you, you're like, oh my gosh, that's so me. Then that's your truth. If you're like, I don't know about this, wait, ask for clarification again. Be like, okay, show it to me again. This time, show it to me 3 times. So, and they will. So that's what I mean by asking for clarification. One day, asked for money. We were really broke. Husband found a $10 bill in the backyard a few hours later. Not coincidental. Nothing in this world is a coincidence. You asked. So nothing in this world is a coincidence. You asked for money, you got it. So I'll remember, it wasn't too long ago, and this was, 6-7 years ago, I was living in a trailer and my kids wanted to eat McDonald's that day. And I had just enough money to get literally a gallon of milk and bread. And I was walking out, and where the grocery store is very close to the McDonald's. So the kid's like, Mom, can we just get a cheeseburger? And I'm like, I didn't have enough money. I had nothing. So I walked out and I happened to look down, and I was so bummed out, but I looked down and there was a $5 bill. And that $5 bill was just enough for us to get $3 cheeseburgers and 2 fries. So the kids were ecstatic. And I'm like, thanks guys. Thanks God. I really needed that. So I think a lot of times people forget to ask. Ask and ye shall receive. Don't forget to ask. You can't expect, but you can request and ask. And in the meantime, work on your positivity and work on your vibration. Keep your chin up. So that's not easy to do when you're dead broke. So not easy. I get it. These are great questions, guys. Good job. So I'm going to see. Barb was asking, when we die, do our souls go to a holding place? Do we go straight to heaven, or do we have judgment day? I'm going to tell you, there is no judgment day. You judge yourself. Okay. So there is no one person in the sky that's like, oh, you're doomed to hell. It doesn't work that way. God is all encompassing, all loving. Everybody, every living thing is a piece of God's light. Now, if you screw up and you decide to summon some demons or parade Satan, you're going to go to hell. You're going to go to hell for a little bit. And I say a little bit because what happens is you go there and immediately you're like, oh crap, this is not what I thought it was going to be. And then you start literally praying and saying, okay, God, I'm sorry. You repent. You're like, I'm sorry. Get me out of here. I'll do whatever it takes. Help me out. And understand that if people pray for them, they do get out faster. So then they go into a place where we detox. So after hell, we go to this detox place where it's a lot like a hospital. I mean, you can't go from all fire and brimstone, crappy, negative energy to love and light. So we have to kind of slowly get our way there. And then eventually we get forgiven. We all do. So no big deal. And then you can go back to, earth again if you want to. Yay. So if that makes any sense, usually that's how it goes. Now, people that say commit suicide, that have been really depressed for a long time, then what happens is you die, but then you go to the hospital. There's a hospital on the other side. So we get a little detox. We have to leave our old school body here so we can remember who we are at a soul level. So, and just understand that like helps to get rid of that negative stuff there. So, and then you go back into heaven, you review your life, you do all that good stuff, check in with everybody, and then you come back in, you get a mulligan, meaning that you leave the same set of circumstances that you just left. So in this life, if you commit suicide because, say, your mom was abusive, when you come into the next life, you're going to have that same set of kind of parents. So same scenario. So we get mulligans. So hopefully that answers that question. But 9 times out of 10, 90% of us cross over into the light, and whatever you think you're going to see, by the way, that's what you're going to see. So if you think you're going to see Jesus, Jesus is going to be there. You think you're going to see the white light, you're going to see the white light. You think you're going to see some pearly gates, you're going to see the pearly gates. Whatever you believe to be true is what you're going to see. So arguing over it is stupid. So because it's your own truth. They're gonna show you an image of what's going to help you best for your transition. Okay. So okay. Felt the need to get rid of toxicity out of my life, and I accept that I cannot control others. This is similar to a physical purge. It is all encompassing, girl. Yep, absolutely. That is the purge. You got to put up boundaries between negative people or unenlightened people because they don't know any better. Bless their heart. So, but yes, that's exactly it. My ears have been wacky last week in a different way than normally. Yeah, you will. So remember, right side is your intuitive side. Left side is logic. So you're going to notice that with these shifts of energy, especially with starting on Sunday, and it happened all week, but especially Sunday, it's always going to be on the right side. Your right side is your intuitive side. So it's going to affect your ears, okay? And it's weird because you can even plug your ears and it's not really it's like not audible. It's up here. So that's called clairaudience. That's your ability to hear spirit. Basically, it's just getting kind of broadcasted here, getting revved up a little bit. So, but yeah, lots of earring, heart palpitations, emotions, purging, blah, all that stuff. Yeah, we're due. Are there geographic areas that have more or less spiritual activity? Well, it depends. So if we're talking Auschwitz, yeah, that's got some activity. Residual activity. If you really want to get like zenned out, Tibet's the way to do it. Like there's different areas, especially within ley lines of earth ley lines, that are going to be more spiritually profound than other places. So that's what I'm like, yeah, that's absolutely true. So is that why I would have a sore throat? Not necessarily, Josie. Usually sore throats are because you're not speaking your truth. You're having to bite your lips because you really want to say something to somebody close to you and you can't. So I'm like, that's probably why you have a sore throat. Akashic Records and accessing for ourselves. How do you know you're there? Rachel, it's really specific. You'll know when you're there because the Hall of Records where the Akashic Records are held, which by the way, the Akashic Records are, in the Bible, it says that everything that you do will be put into a book. That is true. That is true. Those are called the Akashic Records. And so they're held, your specific book from all previous lives are held in the Akashic Records. So inside that the building is called the Hall of Records. And everybody describes it the same way. I've been there, and it really is. You have 4 Greek pillars. You go through the pillars, and then in the middle of the room, you're going to see a book that's got sunlight on it. That's your book. That's how you know. So, and you're going to open it up, and it's a big, thick, fat book. Mine happened to have it was leather with some binding on it, but that doesn't mean that yours is going to be that way. So, but you'll know that you're there. It'll be, there's nobody else around, and it's really weird. You'd think in that big building there'd be other people, but there wasn't for me. So, but yeah, the Akashic, you'll know when you get there because you'll see the book, and it's a big, fat, thick book on like a marble like pedestal. So, hopefully that helps that question. Pretty sure that you vibrate at a higher level than me. Yes, I do. I vibrate really high at people. You have used the example one time that a medium allows a spirit to enter the body, whereas you said that you don't. Okay, so there is, vibrationally speaking, yes, I vibrate, especially when I'm tapped in at a very high level. But as a medium, I don't allow spirit to take over my body. So a channeler or somebody who channels, yes, that's what they do. Their spirit sets aside so another spirit can come in and actually use their voice and their language and their eyes to be able to interpret what's happening. So I don't channel. I choose not to. So I like control of me. Thank you very much. I don't need some weirdo taking control. So, but there are people who are really good at that, like Abraham Hicks, for instance. She's wonderful at that. So, but usually when you channel spirits, there's usually maybe one or two spirit that you kind of talk to as a medium, or as a medium, I can talk to a lot of people, not necessarily at once, but I can. So that's the difference between a medium and a channel. But when I'm doing my job as a medium, I vibrate very high, and I do make people get heart like their chest gets kind of shaky, their fingers get kind of tingly, and it feels like they have anxiety, but it's not anxiety. So some people I make cry. So again, it's not me, it's my energy. So hopefully that helps that one. Is automatic writing safe? Absolutely yes, especially if you set the parameters beforehand. Again, anytime you use a tool, you always set parameters. And what I mean by that is that you can say, if you are for my highest good, you may communicate with me. That's setting a parameter. You don't say, okay, spirit, let's communicate. Well, what spirit are you talking about? So you talking about the dude who, that was on the Mormon trail that wants to come visit with you? Or are you talking about your spirit guide? Or are you talking about grandpa? Who are you talking about? Set parameters. If you are for my highest good, you may communicate with me. That's setting a proper parameter. So hopefully that one helps too. Any advice on getting my husband to talk about the spirit he sees? He has only talked to me a few times about it. He is always scared when he does. He won't talk to his family about it either. Mary, this is one that, just be there for him. It's a lot like children. You don't want to pressure them. You don't want to hound them to death. And you sure as shit don't want to put them in the center of attention and be like, oh, my son's a medium. No, don't do that. So, but just be open enough to be able to hear him out and know that there's people like me that can help him. So, but you can offer, hey, let's see if you want to get a reading from, say, a psychic medium. Not necessarily me. Again, I don't care. And if he's open to it, great. But if he's not, give him time. So he'll be ready when he's ready. You can't force that time, though. I understand you say the negative effects on alcohol or spirits and mediums and psychics. That's true. Does marijuana have an impact? I'll tell you. Marijuana is, yes, I see why spiritual people do it. I do. Because it helps them to clear the mind and not think of anything. And it's not necessarily a negative side effect. Okay. So it doesn't necessarily have, like I said, it's not like alcohol. It doesn't give you a hangover, right? But the problem that I see is people like to use it too much, and they use it as a crutch to help them to meditate. And again, if you can't meditate, if you can't get your thoughts to quiet down without weed, then you're not ready for spirit communication with your spirit guides. Then you're not going to be able to deal with the emotional crap when it comes up, because you're going to be like, you know what, I just don't want to think about it. So, like I said, does it serve a purpose? Yes, to a point it does. It does help quiet it down, get your ego to shut the hell up. But again, don't use it as a crutch. So hopefully that makes sense. Do animals cycle back through in our lives? Yes, they do. Yes, they do. So a lot of times animals will reincarnate. So absolutely, yes, they do. So, and you'll know it because you'll look at it and go, that's my dog. That's my cat. I just know it is. Or it's just going to show up out of nowhere and you're like, nope, that's my dog. So you'll just know. And it could be a different breed, a different sex, but you will know it. So absolutely, on average, they come back about 3 to 4 times. So absolutely, yes. But animals are here to teach us unconditional love. So they might get mad and puke on the carpet once in a while, but they are here to teach you unconditional love. So hard as that might be. So my son asks, at a phase 3, what should I be seeing or doing or focusing on more? Okay, at a phase 3, that's when we want to rock the boat. That's when we are changing up the job. We are actively integrating what we know with our spiritual stuff. So if you know that you need to meditate, then you need to actively meditate. You need to incorporate that. So it's just incorporating the things that you've learned, putting up proper boundaries, and rocking the boat. So like I said, if you shouldn't be loyal to a job ever, by the way, never. So don't ever be, it's just a job, you're replaceable. So at that point, if you're doing a job that you don't like, quit. Find something different first, obviously, then quit. If you're in a negative relationship, get the hell out of it. If you're not responding with positive or ignoring them, then you got to learn how to do that. So phase 3 is when we just start to kind of rock the boat a little bit and just like, you know what, no more. If you ain't going to be on my side, then get the hell off. So it's just a lot easier to do it by yourself sometimes and have a bunch of people around you who don't get it. When people go to heaven, do they stay the same age when they died? Okay, let me explain something. When you die, you are not human. You return to being a piece of God's light. You literally look like a ball of light. That's what you are when you die. You don't bring human stuff with you when you die, okay? So this is what it means, buddy, is your brother and your sister. This is true. Because at the end of the day, when you die, when I die, when the gay guy dies, when the black guy dies, when the guy from Morocco dies, we are identical. We are absolutely identical. That's what we return to, is a piece of God's light. So to judge somebody here based on their race, their religion, their gender, or anything other than that, I'm going to tell you that you're wrong. Because when you die, you go back to being a piece of God's light. However, as a medium, when they show up for me, so I can validate who they are, they're going to show up as they were when they died. So if your dad was 80, he's going to show up as 80. So, but on average, if they have to say human form, on average, they're about 30 years old. That's what they look like when they have to show up as a human form. But remember, you're not human when you die. You leave that here. You return to spirit. You return to being a piece of God's light, okay? So I always want to make that really clear, because people have this weird notion that you're going to be human when you die. No. The only thing you take with you when you die is the lessons that you learned here and the love that you left behind. That's it. You ain't taking nothing with you when you die. So hopefully that answers that question, because like I said, it's not what people think. Like I said, you can't think humanly when you die, because you're not a human. How do I know if I'm close to my spiritual awakening? You wouldn't be watching this if you weren't. How about that? You would not be watching this video right now if you weren't going through an awakening or very close to it. Because otherwise you'd think I'm nuts. Do I believe in aliens? Absolutely. If you think humans are the only thing in this galaxy and other galaxies, you'd be a little naive. So absolutely aliens exist. Most of them are very good. So we got some buttholes, but they're about on the way out. So don't sweat it. But, but most of them really are here to help us for our highest good, believe it or not. So, do I know how many haunted tours I'm going to do? You know what? I'm going to do a few odd things. So I think I'm going to have like a full moon haunted tour. I'm trying not to do so many of those, because honestly, it's exhausting for me. Talking to dead people that are in heaven are a lot easier than talking to dead people who haven't crossed over. People that haven't crossed over into the light because maybe they're in fear of judgment, or they just don't want to cross over for some reason, because remember, we still have free will. They're exhausting. So I don't like to do that very often, but like I said, I do it because my clientele really like it. So, but my guess is just a few, maybe 2 or 3. Again, if you sign up for my newsletter, you're going to get the first dibs. So usually my newsletter peeps are going to sell that out before I even get it on Facebook. So like I said, psychickelly.com, sign up for my newsletters. You want to do that. And then also make sure that you subscribe to this YouTube channel too, because I'm going to be starting March, I'm going to be doing a lot more videos. So yay, I need to, right? Because everybody's like, do more. I'm like, holy crap. Have I ever seen a fairy? You know, I have. So, and I don't tell a lot of people that because they already think I'm nuts. So that one really throws it over the boat. But yes, I have. And they're not big, but when you see a lot of them, especially around a lake, it's pretty freaking magical. So ask, again, ask. Okay, God, I just really want to see angels. I really want to see fairies. I really want to see. And when the time is right, you will see. And you're gonna be like mesmerized. And then as soon as it's gone, you're gonna be like, wait, did that really just happen? Yes, it just happened. So, how do you know if Reiki is for you? Ooh, good question, Shelly. That's a great question. Now here's the deal with Reiki, and I'm gonna have everybody do this right now. So all you need to do is put your hands together right here, and you're gonna keep them here for about 20 seconds. And if you start to feel like what feels like if you're squishing styrofoam together, if you're starting to kind of feel that feeling, that's Reiki energy. That's what it is. It's that you're feeling energy through your palms. Your palms are like main meridian lines or mini chakra centers. So if you feel energy in between your hands like this, then yes, you are ready to do Reiki. Now, most of my mama hens, teachers, counselors, nurses, mama hens, most of my ladies that are mama hens are excellent at doing Reiki. So I just got done teaching a Reiki class. I'll be teaching another one here soon. The Reiki classes, by the way, that I teach, I only have 10 people in that class. I don't want more than 10 because I want it to be one-on-one. I want you guys to get that feeling. So, Can somebody be in two phases of awakenings at the same time? Yes and no. Let me explain. So there's 5 phases to a spiritual awakening. Don't give me, I'm at a phase 5, right? But sometimes I go down to a phase 2, and then I go to a 4, then I go back up to a 5. So we slide on this scale. There's nothing wrong with that. So remember, we're here to learn lessons, and a lot of times we feel like we might be at a 4, but then we go back to a 3, then we go up to a 4, then we go down to a 2. So it's okay. You're going to slide on that scale. So yes, to a point, you can be at 2 at once or right on that breaking point of a 3 and a 4. So how does one learn, share their psychic healing medium gifts with the world? I'm going to tell you the easiest way, Rachel, work on you first. Work on you first. And because your reality will always take precedence over your spirituality every single time. So meaning that if I have drama in my real life, which I don't, but if I have drama in my real life, I better fix it and fix it quick. Because if I don't, I won't be able to do my job as a medium. So, but the other thing that I think is a misconstrued idea is that if you're going to be a psychic medium or a life coach or anything like this, then you need to treat it like a business. So don't do this. If you're going to start, yes, do it for free for the practice, absolutely. But you do have to look at this as a business. A lot of people don't want to do that because they don't want to get paid. And I'm sorry, but this is my full-time job. And I have 3 teenagers that eat a lot of food. So yes, I have to get paid for what I do. It's an old school way of thinking that you should be doing this for free. If I did this for free, my phone would ring 24/7 and I would never get anything done. And I would still have to go to work to a 9-to-5 job because I wouldn't be able to afford to eat or pay my bills. So I always tell people, you know what? You treat it like a damn business. So that's the best thing I can tell you. And I'm going to do one more question because we're getting kind of close. Any suggestions to disconnect for other people's energy? I keep taking on other people's negative energy. I disconnect, but it never stays. You know, Christina, this one's a hard one because my empaths have a very difficult time with that. And so what I'm going to tell you a lot of times is look at how they were raised. if you look at how they were raised, then you're going to understand why they do the things that they do, and then you'll be able to disconnect better. The other thing is make sure, take a salt bath at night. And you guys, if you read my daily reading today, I did say that. So take a salt bath, sea salt. Epsom salt is great for the body, by the way. Epsom salt is wonderful for sore muscles or pH balance. Yes, absolutely, I love it. But if you're talking about spiritual stuff and you need to get recharged after a negative person drains your ass, then you're going to want to take a sea salt bath or pink Himalayan or kosher salt or table salt. That's the kind of stuff I'm talking about. So take a salt bath, and then what you need to do is cut those cords. So the easiest way to cut a cord is to do it this way, or literally say, I hereby cut all cords that may bind me to anybody else, or do it with a piece of selenite too. So cut the cords from those people so they don't reattach, alrighty? So I just want to thank you guys again for doing this. I will be doing a live audience reading in Council Bluffs actually this Saturday night. So if you guys aren't doing anything Saturday, grab some friends. Tickets are $40. Again, go on my website. It's at Ameristar Casino. So make a night of it, right? Have some fun. But again, I want to thank everybody again for attending the free Q&A. Again, I do this once a month. So again, jump on that newsletter so that way you guys can see the workshops that are coming up too. I've almost doubled the amount of workshops that I'm doing at this point, because not only do they sell out quickly, but there's just a lot of people that want to learn at this point. And at this point, my job is to teach, and I love to teach. So the biggest thing, like I said, jump on the newsletter, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. But thank you guys so much for attending, and I will see you guys again next month to answer all your questions. All right, thanks guys. And like I said, super moon, so make sure you put your crystals out to charge tonight or tomorrow night. All right, guys, thanks again. Talk to you later, guys. Bye.